Welcome back to my channel and Happy New Year. I hope everyone has had a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Now, I know it's been a hot minute since I have done a video, and I'm sorry about that. The fall season was really pretty busy for me. So I just did not make the time to do any videos, but I am going to try to do better in the coming year. And I'm going to try to focus on making more quality content for my subscribers. And I am so happy that I have gotten some more subscribers, and I hope that I continue to get more. Today, I'm going to show you how to paint northern lights on a winter forest. This one is just perfect for beginners because there's no fancy techniques, not a lot of fancy tools. You just need some paint brushes, and I'll tell you all the supplies that you will need coming up pretty soon. And absolutely no drawing skills are required. So if you've ever wanted to paint glowing skies and a winter forest, this video is just for you. So grab your brushes, your paints, and let's paint something magical together. And if you enjoy relaxing, easy painting tutorials like this one, please be sure to like, share this video, and subscribe. Okay, so we're going to get into the video here pretty soon. I am going to switch my camera to an overhead position so that you'll be able to see exactly what I am doing. Okay, so meet me there. Okay, so I'm back now. Okay, so the supplies that you will need you will need a canvas. I'm using an 11 by 14, but you could use any size that you wanted to. You could use something smaller like an 8 by 10 or something bigger. Okay, all right. Okay, now also the acrylic paints that you will need, the colors are black. Now I'm using Deco Art Americana acrylic paints. I like these. I just happen to like this brand, but you don't have to use Americana brand. Any craft acrylic paint will be fine. I'm also using white. Okay, so black and white. And I am also using a Prussian Blue. Okay, Prussian Blue. And the other color that I am using is I am using what is called jewel green. Now, you could use any kind of green that is kind of a teal color. It does not have to be that exact color. Okay? All right. Next, I'm also using Dioxazine purple. I never know how to say that word, so sorry. Okay, so any kind of a deep purple will be fine. Okay, I'm also using a Hauser Dark green. Now, like I said, any kind of dark green will be just fine. Okay, now I also will be using a 1-inch flat brush. Okay, so I'll be using a 1-inch flat brush, and then I will also be using a round brush. This is probably a number 6 or a number 8, and then one of these little skinny brushes like this. This is called a detail brush. Okay, and then also I might I have never used this one before, but in order to make the trees, I may use this fan brush. So that's something, but it's not necessary. You don't have to use that. Okay? Only optional. All right. So we also need, you'll need something to put your paints on. I just use a regular styrofoam plate. And you will need maybe paper towels, or I use these shop rags. They work for me because I can wash them, and it's that kind of saves some the environment. Optional is you might be able to use a toothbrush. We'll be making some snow later, so you could use a toothbrush too. Also, you will need something to put some water in, some kind of thing to hold your water. Okay, I hope you don't. Um, I hope you can't hear. There's some dogs. I'm sorry. I live this. I do this in my studio, my little studio that is right next to my house, and I live in a neighborhood that has a lot of dogs, and they're having a party right now. They're barking. Okay, now for the fun part, we're going to start by covering the entire canvas with black. So I'm going to put some black, about probably about that much, and if you need more, you can always put more on there. Okay, so I'm going to put some black on there. I'm just going to go ahead and start. I'm just going to go ahead and start putting all my colors on the plate. That way you'll be able to see what all you need to have. So I'm going to put this teal on there. I'm going to put this dark green. Oops. Uh-oh. Something else that kind of can come in handy when you're doing this are baby wipes, because when I was squirting that paint out, I got some paint on my hand, and it just kind of helps. Baby wipes will help if you make a little mistake. It's just baby wipes, plain, unscented, from Walmart. So it can help uh, if you make a mistake, or if you get stuff on you. Okay, so purple. Okay, all right. And I like to shake them before I put them out, because if you don't, sometimes if they've been sitting up for a while, uh, they can get watery. So these are all of my paint colors that we will be using. All right. So I'm going to start out using my 1-inch flat brush. I'm going to dip my brush into a little bit of water first, and then we're going to start. I'm going to start painting. And this is just a fun, relaxing thing to do. Okay, no pressure. Just start putting down some paint. All right. Oh, I forgot the blue. Whoops. I forgot to put the blue down on my paint palette. I have this dark blue. It's called Prussian Blue, but it's just kind of a dark blue. Okay. So we're going to start putting the black down on our canvas. All right. And if it ever feels like your brush is dragging, you can always dip it into a little bit of water, and that will help the paint flow a lot better. So ever so often, dip your brush into a little bit of water, and then just wipe it off on the side. You see how this paint is just flowing really, really nicely? Okay, and also get more onto your brush. Okay, we're going to cover this whole thing with the black. All right, get this whole black back, get this whole canvas. covered with black. And like I said, every so often, grab your water and it'll flow really easily. And if you want to do the sides, you can paint the sides too while you're doing that. I'm not going to paint the sides right now, but you can if you want to when you're painting. Okay, now when you get about 2/3 of the way down, go ahead and grab some of that dark blue paint and just go ahead and paint all the way down to the bottom with that. You don't even have to rinse your brush really. Just get the dark blue and mix it into the black up here at the top while it's still wet. That's the good thing about blending. Blending works best when your paint is wet. You can't really blend, and it's not going to be a real big difference. It'll be kind of a subtle difference, you know. And also get some blue and mix it into the black that you've already painted. Do some little crisscross like this, okay? Crisscross brush strokes, just like that. And then continue down to the bottom. Get some more paint when you need to, and continue to paint all the way down to the bottom. I'll move my canvas up so you can see what I'm doing down there toward the bottom here, okay? And don't worry about it being perfect. We're not looking for perfection here. We just want to have fun. Now, if you do see any spots in here on your canvas where you see like some little white spots on your canvas, just grab more paint and put it in there. That just means you haven't, you need to put more paint in it on it. Okay, that's all that is. So if you are seeing some little white spots, just grab you some more paint. Okay. All right, and we're just about done with that. So I'm just going to get that blue right in there. Okay. All right. Now then. Now, we're going to kind of let that dry. I'm going to rinse my brush out. Okay, and the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start the northern lights. That's going to be fun. So rinse your brush out and blot it out on your paper towel, or really good, either on your paper towel. You see what I'm doing? I'm blotting this brush out. I just found a hair in there. Sorry about that. Okay, so get your brush really good and cleaned off. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to take my heat gun tool and I'm going to dry this because I really don't want my northern lights that I put down to get any black on them or anything like that. So I want to get this really good and dry. All right. This little tool really helps. I'll put a link to where I got it in the description area. I got this from Amazon and I have used it. I've had it several years and it has worked really well for me to dry some of my paint. And it's not as loud. Now you could use a blow dryer, but this is not quite as loud as a blow dryer. Now, if I was using a blow dryer, I wouldn't be able to talk over it because blow dryers are pretty loud. And the other bad thing about blow dryers is that you know it, they're meant for drying hair, you know. So that's pretty good. They're meant for drying hair, so they just blow stuff all over the place, and that's exactly what will happen. All right, now I'm going to take, first of all, before I start in with the Northern Lights, I want to kind of make a little, sort of a little hill for our trees to be on. I don't want our trees to be just out in the middle of nowhere. So I'm going to take this dark green and I'm going to start right about, maybe about the middle of there. And I'm going to just take this and I'm just going to kind of take it like this. And I'm just going to kind of make a curve where you could think, oh, that might be, that looks like a hill. Okay. All right. Okay. So there we go. Now, I'm going to fill that in with our dark green. And I think I'll also add a little bit of the dark blue with that. Okay. Just to kind of give it a little bit of depth, maybe a little bit of black too. A little bit of black too. Make that kind of a darker, even darker green. All right, go right back into that green. Now you can make, you might want to make it a little bit darker up here at the top and then lighter down as we go. Okay, so just go between dark. Okay, and then we're going to go lighter as we go down. Okay. We want to get a base for our heel because um, it's going to be, we're going to cover that in snow. So we want to kind of get a base for our heel. Okay. Now we're going to rinse that out real good. And we're going to start in with our Northern Lights, which is going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. Okay? All right. Okay, so we're going to use this brush again, and we're going to take some of this teal green that I've got right here and a little bit of white. Okay, so teal green and a little bit of white, and we're going to use brush strokes that are going up. Okay, you can go up and you can swirl them if you want. So we're going to just go up and swirl. Okay, up and swirl, and kind of make it feathery. And also kind of make it feathery because if you notice, Northern Lights, they kind of have a feathery effect to them, you know? So I'm going to take a little bit more of this teal green with the white and do another, and then up. We want to do upward strokes, okay? Upward strokes. And don't worry if your northern lights don't look exactly like mine. That's okay, because you know what? The one that I did yesterday, it doesn't look like the one I'm doing today. So it's okay. It's okay if it doesn't look exactly like. All right. Okay. Then, without even, you don't even have to rinse your brush out. I'm going to grab some of this purple that I have and more of the white, some purple, and we're just going to kind of go over some of those because you know they have purple. Sometimes they have purple in them, you know. All right. Okay. All right. I'm going to rinse my brush. Okay. Now, feel free to add any other kind of color that you'd like to. You know, you might want to add some pink in there or something like that. I don't know. Just feel free, or blue, you know, that's always an option. All right. Now, I'm going to rinse my brush and going to get it dried off real good. Okay, now, as soon as I'm going to get this dried, I want to dry my lights really good. Let me get these dried because we're going to work on our trees next. Okay. And we don't want this color mixing in with the black that we're going to use for our trees. I'm going to make sure this is really, really um, dry. Okay. All right. Now, okay, now let's take our very small, the smallest brush, this is our detail brush, dip in a little bit of water, and you're going to use your black, and we're going to start making our trees. Now, I'm going to go onto start with the green from the hill, and we're just going to go up and make a one long skinny line for our tree trunk. Okay, do another one down here. I may need to get some more paint. Okay, do another one down here. Okay, all right. And you can go do a smaller one down here. Okay, all right. All right. Okay. Now, I'm going to add some more paint to my palette because I'm about out of my black. Okay. All right. Now with our medium round brush, we're going to start, you can start with this tallest one. We're going to start making some triangles. Just make a triangle and have it go bigger, larger as it goes down. Okay. All right, and then don't worry if your trees are not perfect, because trees are never really all that perfect. They're not perfect in nature, and they're not perfect here. All right. Could do a smaller one in the foreground if you'd like. And I'm just using this fan brush just to make some, kind of put some leaves on our trees. If you wanted to put some green on top of that, that would be fine to do. Wouldn't put much. These are supposed to be kind of silhouettes. All right. All right. Okay, so I'm going to get that dried. All right. You could feel free to add any other little details that you like. If you want to make some little smaller trees in the background or something like that, that would be fine. Okay. All right. Now I am going to get my white and put it on my 1-inch brush, and we're going to make some snow on this hill. Okay, so we're gonna just kind of do back and forth very lightly, almost kind of like a dry brush method. You could also use your, if you wanted to use your other brush, like your round brush, that would be fine too. Also, you could also put some snow. Actually, you could, I wonder how it would work with this fan brush, adding in some white for snow on here, on the trees. I'm not sure how I like that. I don't really know if I like that really. Okay, so I'm going to go grab my grab my baby wipes. So I don't really like that too much. See, that's, if you make boo-boos, if you make a mistake, it's okay. It's just paint. It'll come off. I'm just gonna take that off because I don't really like the way that looked. And that's okay. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go right back to my black and my round brush, and I'm gonna go back over that. So if you ever do something that you don't really like, just go back over it with some paint and it'll be okay. All right. So it's okay if you mess up. It's all right. Okay. I'm just going to, for the snow up here on the top, I'm going to just dab some snow in this background. All right. Okay. Now, the last thing that we are going to do is we're going to use that toothbrush that you have, add some water to white, get your toothbrush in there really good, okay? I know that your water is not, unless you wanted to change it, at least mine is not. Mine is not totally clean, so it's going to be, but it doesn't really matter because it's going to be fine and it'll show up on here. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my toothbrush and I'm just going to lightly sprinkle that, what we think is snow, all over our canvas. Okay, so it looks like snow is falling down. Okay, and we're going to do it all over our canvas. Okay, lightly, and it makes kind of a mess. I know it does. Put some back on your brush if you don't have enough. Okay. All right. Okay. And that we're done. Okay. So now the only thing you need to do is just let it dry and enjoy your painting. Now, just like what I said before, if you like videos like this, easy videos on beginner painting, just like my videos, subscribe, and share them. Share them with all your friends. All right. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. I know I had fun doing this. I always do. And I'll see you the next time. All right. Goodbye.